we have an important guest waiting. Let's get her on the line. Let's welcome to Totally Driven Radio, the one, the only, from Glow, Gremlina. How you doing, Gremmy?
Doing great. How y'all doing?
Good. You know, Gremmy, I got to say this to everybody. If you're on Facebook and you're a Glow fan, you have to friend Gremlina because she is so freaking cool. She always will be like very sociable. She's not one of them Facebook friends like how many people do you know, especially like that you've probably grown up with or or even family members that friend you on Facebook and never say nothing to you? Grammy will get into your conversations, and she's very sociable, and she's super cool, and she's an honor to have as a Facebook friend. And Grammy, I want to thank you for that.
Hey, no problem. I mean, I was drug kicking and screaming on the Facebook by my former tag partner, Daisy, and I found out that it's pretty cool. And it's neat to share and laugh and cause mayhem.
So you didn't want to you didn't want to get involved in the whole social media world?
I'm not a gremlin for nothing. Me and computers, and not a good mix. In fact, if my husband goes, step away from the technology, please. I'm serious. I literally cannot even use my own DVD player. I have to get my husband to fix it for me and set it up for me. So, gremlins, technology, social, it wasn't supposed to be a good fit, but I just had a blast with it. That's all.
Hey, well, that's the thing. I mean, you do exactly what you're supposed to. You have a blast with it. You have fun, and that's what you do, and that's great.
Oh yeah, that's why if anyone who is my friend or follows my page, I post videos. I post music videos. I make snide comments about music videos, or I post updates about my latest obsessions, which are one of my favorite TV shows, or I post an opinion on a movie, or say I'm here eating it, blah, blah, or, I don't like the political heavy crap. Occasionally I have to get into it, but I always tactfully and respectfully make my point and get over it.
That sounds like a lot of what I do.
I think somebody needs to make like a social media site, because one of the most popular things that's done on social media is people sharing their food. So they need to make just like a social media site geared towards food, so we can just share pictures of their food.
Yeah, well, I don't post pictures of my food. I'll just, say, hey, I'm at such a restaurant.
Kind of like when I'm at Hooters.
And you still have a few Hooters here in the Virginia area you need to hit.
Yes, I do. Believe me, I have everything kept track of. Don't worry, we will get down there at some point. Okay, so let's go back in time.
Okay.
And talk about a little bit of Glow. Thursday. What's that?
I said it is Throwback Thursday, so sure.
It is Throwback Thursday for sure. So before you got involved with Glow, were you an actual wrestling fan?
Oh, heck yeah. I'm going to give away, I'm a proud 49-year-old. I started watching wrestling. My dad took me to my first match when I was 6 years old in 1970. And my Saturdays were cartoons and wrestling. And when I got to be a teenager, the female hormones kicked in, and it was like, handsome, well-built men and skimpy tights, I can get into this. And then I just started watching the artistry. I mean, Jesse Ventura put it the best. It's like ballet with violence. And then I had the honor of meeting some of the guys, because I'm a teeny thing, and I was even teenier back then. So when I was wandering around the arena or the Coliseum, they didn't feel threatened, and they would come up. I'd walk up, hey, how's it going? To these big guys, and they didn't intimidate me. I wasn't awestruck. It was like, hey, how do you do that? I would ask them, how is that hold done? Or, I'd ask them something about a match they had done on TV. So I've always been a fan of it, and then when I moved to New York City in my 20s, I really got to know the wrestlers. I started going and hanging out at the bars and restaurants they hung out. I got to know some of them personally as people, and it's just, I guess it's been in my blood. I guess it was there all the time. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. You broke up a little. You're not coming across. I can hear blip, 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 blip. I hear greedy, but I can't hear what you're asking. I'm sorry. You want me to hang up and call back in? All right, I'm going to hang up and call back in. Give me 1 second.
All right, let's try that. I'm on the guest line now because it seems like the main line's not working. Let's see. Grammy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, let's see. John, are you on there?
I am here.
All right, you know what? Anyway. Technical difficulties Thursday.
I warned you, you have a gremlin on the line.
You did warn us.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Okay, so what I was saying is, are you originally from the Virginia area?
I'm born and raised in Richmond, yes.
Wow, okay. So what made you go to New York?
20 years old, tired of the family rules and regulations, wanted to break out on my own, and just decided, hey, why not go to New York?
Well, that's pretty ballsy. I mean, that's huge.
Yep.
Wow.
I don't
couldn't
do
have done
anything
that.
small.
I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have just gone. I mean, I go to New York now, and I get nervous.
Well, I had some friends up. I had a couple of friends up there, and they let me crash at their place. But within 2 weeks, I had a job, and then within 6 months, I had my first apartment. So
wow,
I think I did pretty good.
Wow, yeah, good for you. So how did you get started with Glow?
Well, the gentleman I was dating at the time and eventually married briefly, he was a big wrestling fan. We would watch wrestling all the time. And the lady he was getting ready to leave, we were watching wrestling on TV, and we were watching Glow, and I have to say I was impressed with it from the get-go. I mean, Ashley Cartier impressed me, Hollywood impressed me, Manuchka, and they were talking about their tryouts and blah, 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 call this number at the Riviera. Well, we called because the girl he was dating at the time, she was 5'8". She was a big girl, so we figured she could get on it. Well, we went down to the tryouts in Commerce, Georgia, and basically I flipped the head writer and the director of the bird. And they said, we've got to have you.
Wow.
And that's how I became a part of Glow.
So from there, I mean, because they were based out in California, so did you have to move to California then?
Actually, they were based in Las Vegas. And yes, I
Vegas,
did.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I did. I packed up and moved to Vegas.
Wow. So was it what you expected, being a wrestling fan for years, and then you got involved with wrestling, was it what you expected going into it?
Yes and no. Yes, there was a lot of long hours, a lot of hard work, a lot of training, which I knew from talking to the guys that was part of it. But I never dreamed that the friendship, well, I sort of did because I could see the way the guys interacted, but the friendships and bonds and the glitz and, the kind of campiness I wasn't expecting, and I had to pull a few things out of the old hat of magic tricks because it's not every day you get told you're going to be a human gremlin. So, yes, all the training and the wrestling aspect was what I expected, but the other parts weren't.
When they told you they wanted you to play the character of the gremlin, were you offended by that, upset?
No, because the director put it to me this way. He said, little people are mean, evil, vicious ankle biters.
And you were happy with that?
Well, like I said, when I went to the tryouts, I wasn't even trying out for Glow. I had no ambition to be on Glow. I was wearing a Hot Rod T-shirt and blue jeans. Like I said, I flipped the head writer and the director off. So, I guess the attitude just sort of came through. So,
had you been a fan of Glow itself, or you were more of a fan of WWF at the time?
I was, okay, I'm a Mid-Atlantic and NWA and the Crockett promotion. I'm the golden era. We're talking
the good stuff.
Yeah.
The good stuff.
I think wrestling sort of died in 1994, but that's just my opinion. And, yes, I was a fan of Glow. I watched it and I was amazed because it had never been done before. This was the first ever hour-long, totally female wrestling show. And I thought that was cool that women of all shapes and sizes were out there just kicking ass. So, yes, I was a fan. I was a big fan of Hollywood, Ashley Cartier, of course, Mount Fiji, Nanushka, who was my trainer. I mean, the first two seasons of Glow Girls were amazing.
So Nanushka was the one that actually trained you then?
Yes, she trained me, but the first two seasons were trained by Mondo Guerrero.
Right. So how was that when you actually started training?
Well, I have to admit I was a bit starstruck because you got to understand, here I am, a fan, having no idea of what I'm doing. I'm only 4'8.5" tall, okay? Most of these women were way towering over me. And I stepped inside, we did our hour, 45-minute cardio workout, aerobics and all. And then we get in the ring and learn how to take bumps. And we start doing that. I'm standing face-to-face with Colonel Nanushka. I'm intimidated, and then here comes Mount Fiji and Hollywood. And I'm like, holy wow. And then Sally the farmer's daughter was part, We had a few of the first two-season girls with us, but, for the most part, the rest of the season 3 and 4, we were all new. So we were all experiencing it together, but it was unbelievable. It was an unbelievable experience.
So was it I guess it was almost like a full-time job then. Like, I mean, you guys lived there. Weren't you all living together? And I guess,
yes.
Was it like a daily thing where you trained every day, or?
Basically put, we all met, the 30-some of us girls that were in season 3. We met at the clubhouse at the apartment complex because they moved Glow out of the Riviera by that point. We were each given roommates and assigned apartments. My roommate was Big Bad Mama.
Oh, okay.
And the next day, this was on a Sunday, the next day we were at the training center in workout gear, and from 9 in the morning till 5 in the evening with a break for lunch, we worked out. We did aerobics, we did cardio, we did gymnastics, we did wrestling holds, we ran the ropes, we did bumps, a little bit of boxing. I mean, it was 9 to 5, boom, 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 physical. After that, we would meet after dinner, and it didn't end there. After dinner was discussing strengths, weaknesses, character development.
Wow.
And once we were given the character, we we wrote, here's a little secret. Yes, we had a brilliant writer. Steve Blance is a genius, and so is Matt Simber as director. But a lot of the girls, myself included, we wrote our own raps.
Oh, really?
Every rap you saw Gremlina do was written by me.
Do you remember any of them?
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, you got to do one. Roxy did one
yes.
for us, so you have to do one.
Okay. Let me think. Okay. I'm Gremlina, I'll foul you up. In the ring, I'll rip you up. I punch, I kick, I scratch, I bite. I send my girl in for the fight.
That was awesome.
That's great stuff. I used to love that show so much.
But
I was never into wrestling, but I loved Glow.
We had a ball doing it. I mean, it was like being in a sorority, a big sorority. That's why we call ourselves Glow Sisters, because it was great. I mean, you know, it was hard work, but boy, was it fun, too.
How excited were you to finally become, like, when you became part of it? I mean, you were such a huge wrestling fan, and now you're part of this wrestling organization that was really popular around the country.
Well, honestly, we were pretty much, we knew we had something good, but we didn't see the reaction, really, until we went out on tour.
Right.
And, like I said, when we were doing the taping, we taped to about 600 people or more. And it was basically start taping, you know, we work on the show from Monday through Friday, do a dry run Friday night. Saturday, we were at the arena getting into makeup, hair. Saturday at 5:36 p.m., boom, the cameras were on. We were out there till 10, 11 o'clock at night. Then once the arena cleared out, we were up there doing our raps, filming little pieces and commercials and stuff. So
right.
We really didn't get a chance. I mean, I didn't. Okay, I'm the most amazed and shocked and humbled person in the world right now, because the one thing that social media did to me 25 years later, I didn't think my character was all that. I mean, I was there for such a brief time because I had to leave because of a knee injury. And I thought, what, you know, okay, nobody's going to ever remember me. I had my 10 minutes. It was fun. Then I get on Facebook, and oh, my God, it was just humbling to have people say, we remember, and telling me stuff about my matches, and I'm like, wow. You know, so really it didn't hit me till much later what I had accomplished at that point. But, yeah, it's thrilling. I mean, how many people get to live one of their dreams?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, like, when I went through that with, like, ECW, like, I was in ECW in 95 and 96, and then, you know, years later, like, I've done some wrestling conventions over the last few years, and the first convention I did, it was really kind of shocking because there was people from all around the world coming up to me, like, having me sign, like, all this old ECW memorabilia that the other Dudley brothers had signed, and they needed my signature. There was people from Japan that were there, and they were having me sign stuff to hang in, like, restaurants in Japan, and it was very humbling. I was like, wow, like, I mean, I was such a small piece in the puzzle there, and to have such a people remember you, and it's such an overwhelming feeling. It was very, I loved it, and I'm sure you did too.
Well, it really, you know, like I said, it was hitting home on Facebook. But when I first went to Cauliflower Alley Club, which is held in Vegas every year, the Little Egypt got us girls back together, so to speak, got the band back together. And we were invited to attend Cauliflower Alley Club, which everyone knows is a great organization for professional wrestlers. And what really hit it home to me is, I'm walking into the Gold Coast 25 years later, getting ready to check in, and I hear, oh, my God, it's Gremlina, look. And then it was just like, wham, 5 or 6 people. Can we get a signature? Can we get a picture? And I was like, holy, whoa. You know?
Yeah, that stuff is just, it's just overwhelming. I mean, to realize, like, how you've played a part in these people's lives. And they really, it's so incredible. It's such an incredible feeling.
Exactly.
Now, who were some of your favorite opponents when you were wrestle in there?
I guess, oh, Lord, heck. I mostly caused trouble outside of the ring, and God knows I tormented Daisy, bless her heart, all 6 with her. Some of the best matches, well, of course, you can't get any better than Mountain Fiji. And me and Daisy had like 3 matches against Fiji. She was just phenomenal. I loved working with Roxy Astor, and I loved working with Sally and Dave, the Farmer's Daughters. They were great. But my favorite opponent, which it was a match that never took place but should have because of my knee injury, when Daisy turned on me and she took on Zelda in a one-on-one match, which was rare because Daisy usually wrestled tag teams. I would have loved to have wrestled Zelda because the few minutes we were in that ring, it was there, the chemistry. And when we would work out and rehearse together, they would pair me and Zelda because there wasn't much difference in our body sizes and our height and stuff. And we really gelled. I mean, I could throw her in a hip toss. She could, body slam me. I could get her in a full Nelson. I mean, I would have loved to have seen a Gremlina versus Zelda match. But alas, it wasn't in the cards.
Now, how about you were on, is it only seasons 3 and 5 you were on, or were you on 3, 4, and 5?
I was on season 3.
Oh, see? They had it wrong in my research. It said 3 and 5.
Well, actually, Glow never went to a 5th season. We only had 4.
Okay. So they screwed up big time.
Glow aired from 1986 to 1991 and went into syndication after that.
Gotcha.
Because if you've watched the documentary tells the story. That's all I'm going to say. The documentary is the gospel truth about what happened.
How excited were you about the documentary when it was all being filmed and put together?
Oh, my God. It was amazing. I got a chance, because I'm an East Coaster, I didn't get to hang out with the girls and do the screenings and stuff in California, but I got to rule New York. I got to go to the 2 New York screenings, and at one it was me and the head writer, Steve Blance, and at the second one it was me and Little Egypt and Steve Blance. And it was, I was sitting there with tears in my eyes when I first saw it because, unfortunately, I had no way of getting out to that reunion for Fiji. And I was too, and it was like within 2 days of me flying out, everything fell through. So I missed being a bigger part of the documentary and being at that reunion by 2 days.
Wow.
Which is why it's just been so incredible, and having been to the screenings, having talked to the fans, having seen the fans' reactions, hearing the feedback, it's an amazing piece of wrestling history, and I recommend it to anybody. It's a great documentary.
Yeah, I loved it. I saw it, and I think it really brought a lot of good memories back about Glow for the fans. Not just for the girls, but for the fans as well. So many people watched it, and to be able to see that and go back in time and see the true story and the story behind the scenes and how all the girls got together and just everything about it. It was really well done and really enjoyable documentary. Had you remained in contact with a lot of the girls over the years, or?
Actually, funny story. I left Glow because of a knee injury and because of my first marriage and getting custody of my stepson. It was either continue risking your health because my knee was getting worse and worse. I blew it out in the match. And not be there to be a mom to a darling little boy, because I was a stepmom. So I had to think family and health, and that's why I left Glow. And when I left, basically, honestly, I did one match in Virginia for a Virginia Independent about 6 months to 8 months after I left Glow. And I had one brief match in Virginia Championship Wrestling, which is what it was called back then. And after that, I went back to being an accountant. That's what I was before Glow. That's what I'm doing now.
Wow.
And, I hadn't really thought about it. I mean, occasionally I get people that will remember it. Heck, my darling husband I'm married to now didn't even know he was dating a former Glow girl. Until a friend of mine told him, do you know who you're dating? He goes, yeah, I'm dating, I'll say my real name, I'm dating Sandy. He goes, no, you're not. You're dating a Glow girl. And my husband goes, what's a Glow girl?
Oh, that's funny.
And then he was reminded that he had watched a little bit of it with his cousin. But, it was like, it was refreshing because I got a great husband who didn't care about what I did, But he's been so supportive. He's traveled with me on tours and stuff when I've gone out to Cauliflower Alley and all and screenings. And he supports anything I do with it. And, like I said, I didn't really give it much thought. And my husband had posted something on it was a YouTube match of us, me and Daisy, I think, versus the Fijis. And my husband had written a little smart comment. He goes, that's my wife, cute little stinker, ain't she? And Daisy responded to him. Daisy told him, you better have her call me right now. And I'm sorry, when Daisy, who is 6'2", tells you to call her.
Oh, you call.
Yeah, even though I'm the one that I'm the one that held the whip and the chain. She said call, I called, and she's like, oh, my God, Gremlina Investment. She was telling me about the reunion and the documentary coming up. She put me in contact with Little Egypt. She got me convinced, and my husband set up my Facebook page. And then I started reconnecting with the girls. And then I went to Cauliflower Alley, and for the first time in 25 years, I saw some of my old friends face to face.
Oh, that's awesome.
And met some of the ladies I didn't get a chance to work with, like Matilda Hun, Little Egypt, Dallas. I've met Ashley, Tina. It's just been amazing. I've met Indy of the Soul Patrol. It's just amazing meeting the girls that started it for us, and then working with the girls that kept the torch going, and we've all sort of become a blended family, so to speak, and it's really good. There's no animosity or jealousy. All 4 seasons across the board love each other. We're sisters. We support each other, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, it seems like Little Egypt is like really a big one behind the scenes today that really tries to keep all you guys together and keeps the whole Glow spirit alive.
Oh, I call her our gorgeous ambassador of wrestling. She is amazing. She has worked social media brilliantly, and she is the one, I got to say, that has been looking for the girls, has gotten us in contact with each other, has got the ones on Facebook who are on Facebook, that may not have been. She's the one that keeps us abreast of what's going on. She gets out there, she promotes the brand. I mean, Egypt is that's what I say when people ask me, I say, how cool was it that I got to work with such beautiful, strong, intelligent, empowered women? I mean, and she embodies that.
Yeah. So I guess getting back involved with the Glow and the documentary, is that what got you back involved with wrestling, working, which you've been doing independents down in the Virginia area lately, haven't you?
Yeah, actually, I'm very proud of that fact. One of my Facebook friends was head of security at Vanguard Championship Wrestling based out of Hampton, Virginia, in Norfolk, Virginia, and he kept bugging me, and I'm like, look, I'm sick of wrestling. It sucks on TV. The WWE is, he's like, you got to check an independent card. So he sort of convinced me, and I came one night as his guest, and they set me up a table, and I had 8x10s, and the promoter and the commissioner, and I just started talking to them, and I was amazed at what I was seeing in the ring. The passion and the heart and the talent that those men have in VCW re-sparked it in me. I mean, I don't think if it hadn't been for the guys in that locker room and the open arms welcome I got and the talent that they have, maybe I wouldn't have gotten back into it. But I went from being a joyous spectator, just having a little gimmick table and, you know, hanging out with my extended wrestling family, to becoming commissioner of VCW and being on Piper's Pit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now managing two great gentlemen in VCW. And I think the resurgence and being back with both sort of nudged me back. But, you know, it's in my blood. It's like the promoter always reminds me that I'll never forget the one thing you told me the first card you came to. He said, and I said it, you can take the girl out of the ring, but you can't take the ring out of the girl.
So true. So true. Now, you're involved with this Femdi Action, which when we talked to Roxy a few months ago, she was telling us a little bit about it, too. And it seems like it's Roxy and Godiva, Little Egypt, and yourself. Now, what is...
It's more than that. Oh, but so much more.
So is it like, I guess it's like modern-day Glow.
Well, it's being directed by the creator of Glow.
Okay.
The man behind all of us, Matt Simber. He's a genius. He's brilliant.
Okay.
As with Glow, he decided it was time to do something edgy, something that had never really been done before, and to give women a platform. Back in the 80s, it was Glow to show the dynamic we were looking for were teenage girls and up, to show them that women can be strong, powerful, beautiful, and have a sense of humor about it.
Gotcha.
Femdi Action it's an action, reality, and comedy show.
Okay.
It's like a talent show, but more. We have what we call Spirit, and it's a beautiful flying silhouette of a woman, and what that is the spirit of all womanhood. No matter what you throw at a woman, no matter how much she had to fight for equality, spirit is what drives her. And basically put, it's going to be a mix of the old and the new. Yes, there's going to be new girl, and it's going to be wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, taekwondo, jiu-jitsu. There's going to be comedy skits. And there's a talent search part. It's sort of like American Idol on steroids.
That's what I was going to say, because the little clips I saw, it seemed like there was like judges, and I was like, is it almost like a wrestling version of American Idol for like a female?
When I get off of here and get back on my laptop, I'll send you the 28-minute promo.
Okay.
Which shows you that little 8-minute clip is good, but the 28-minute clip shows you a wider range of what they're aiming for.
Okay.
And basically we have judges. We have Roxy Astor's a judge, Ashley Cartier's a judge, Godiva's a judge, Thunderbolts is a judge, and Envy from Soul Patrol are judges. They switch off. Then you have one of the trainers is Godiva's husband. He's a taekwondo. He runs a taekwondo studio, and Godiva herself is a third-degree black belt in taekwondo.
Oh, wow.
So her husband is also one of the executive producers. He's part of the training, and another trainer is Lightning, and she's a part of the show. Our security team is Daisy and Tulsa.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you guys got everybody involved.
And then you have me and Matilda the Hun.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they teamed me up with Matilda.
Now, how's she doing? Because in the documentary, they showed she was having, like, health problems.
Matilda is doing wonderful. She is in a wheelchair because wrestling has taken a toll on her.
Sure.
She's still as body and raunchy. She's Matilda the Hun, and she still eats raw meat.
That's awesome.
And basically, Matt decided to get the two biggest troublemakers and smart mouths together, and we sort of are there to heckle and to cause trouble.
Gotcha.
We're sort of there to, when we're watching these girls go out and show what they can do, we're there picking them apart. And we're also hassling the judges, of course. And also, you will see Hollywood, Jailbait, MTV, and Stinky in Dimity Action. All of us were an integral part of the pilot. In fact, MTV is one of the associate producers and a writer for the show.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're going to have to send that over to me so I can check that out. And I had been talking to Roxy, and we were talking about getting you and Roxy and Little Egypt and Godiva all in here at the same time to talk all about the whole FemD Action project.
Awesome. Like I said, we're excited. We filmed the pilot back in the brainchild started back last year, right when the documentary came out. And Matt, being the genius he is, decided, hey, let's do this. And things have been working. And of course, in the television industry, things go. It's a hurry up and wait thing. The pilot has been filmed. It's been edited. It supposedly looks wonderful.
Great.
They've been out to shows and, TV shows and conventions, selling it to try to get a market for it. And it's gotten a lot of good talk and buzz, so we're hoping that it'll get picked up. And if it gets picked up, I've been told that there will be a gremlin in the house.
Very good. There better be.
Well, Gremlina has undergone a little bit of a change. The 80s, she wore snakeskin spandex, had big hair with a black stripe, and carried a whip and drug Daisy on a chain. Now, still carries the whip. She's gothic. She's very goth. She wears a dog collar, dark makeup. She's got dark red hair and wears, like, Hello Kitty T-shirts and dark goth clothes and a lot of skulls.
You're Gremlin 2.0.
Well, they tell me I look like one of those little living dead dolls, so they call me Gremlina Goth.
Nice.
MTV christened me that, but, so we're excited about that, and I get excited, in November I'll be up in Rhode Island at Rhode Island Comic-Con. This will be my second appearance there. And
yeah, where else is any other appearances you're going to be at? There's the one in Rhode Island, the Comic-Con.
No, but if there are any Comic-Cons, horror cons, or wrestling conventions that want to book in Gremlina, just get a hold of me through my Facebook page. I'm cheap, I'm easy, and I'm fun to work with.
There you go. Look for Gremlina on Facebook. You can find her at Gremlina Glow. Friend her.
And I'm on Twitter at Gremlina Glow.
Oh, all right. I got to find you on Twitter, too, then. So look for her on Twitter and Facebook. Friend her, follow her, and she will gladly be your friend, and she'll be very sociable and super cool to you as she's been to me.
Hey, it's like I don't forget what put me where I'm at.
That's very nice.
When you friend me, I have a wicked sense of humor, but it's like I tell people, I have friends with children that see my page. I don't believe in raunchy. I am a happily married woman, so don't proposition me. And if I'm not happily married, if you keep insisting, you will have to deal with my husband, who, here's the ironic thing, Mr. I'm not into wrestling is now head of VCW security.
Oh, that's funny. So, yes, be respectful if you friend Gremlina.
if you treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect. I don't mind answering questions about Glow or movies or horror movies or anything. I mean, I just like to have fun. I mean,
Sounds good.
It's a social network. I like being social.
There you go. All right, everybody. Gremmy, thanks so much for being part of the show. We were finally able to get this together. Again, follow Gremlina on Twitter, friend her on Facebook, and be sociable, and she'll be sociable to you.
And don't forget to listen to Totally Driven Radio.
Cut a quick ID for us. Say, this is Gremlina from Glow, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
Sure. This is Gremlina from Glow, and yes, you're listening to Totally Driven Radio.
I love it.
That
Thanks,
was
Gremmy.
awesome.
Thanks.
Talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right, John. Actually,